Hello, this is Dr. Greg Mays with Your Word Wednesday. This week, we are continuing our series of the ripple effect. Last week, we talked about Esther and the ripple effect that Queen Vashti's decision not to go into King Xerxes' place in the party had the effect of on Mordecai's life. This week, I want to talk about Jesus Christ. Yes, that Jesus Christ. What is a stone that sent us to this place where Jesus Christ was born?
In Matthew's book, Jesus said, go into all the land. Take the word, share it, teach it, preach to every man. Just do his will, because he always has a master plan. It's not your place to make the world believe or understand.
I'm going to take us all the way back to the book of 1 Samuel. And in 1 Samuel, we read about a man. It starts out and it says, there was a certain man from Ramathaim, a Zophite from the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, and the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph. He gives the genealogy. And he had two wives. One was called Hannah and the other Peninnah. Peninnah had children and Hannah did not. And that's where we pick this ripple up. Hannah had no children, but she wanted them. And so she begins to pray for children. Hannah ultimately has a son named Samuel. And she makes this promise to God. If you give me a son, if you give me a child, I will give him back to you. And so she did. She gives the son, her son, to Eli, who was the prophet in that time, the judge in that time. Samuel grows up and ultimately anoints the first king of Israel, who is Saul. Now, although Saul wasn't the king, the one that God really wanted for the people, the God that he really wanted for the Israelites, drum roll please, was himself. He could do everything that any human king could ever do. But the people wanted to be like everybody else. They cried for a king. The ripple effect continues to move, not with Saul, but with the king that God says is the man after his own heart, and that is David. When David gets anointed king, it's another ripple towards Jesus Christ. Now, before I started recording this episode, I was talking to my business partner, Jessica Maldonado, and I was saying I want to do a side-by-side ripple. Let me tell you real quick, I've said it before, how David came to be. David is the son of Jesse, who is the son of Obed, who is the son of, I believe, Boaz. And if Boaz isn't the son of the father of Obed, he's the father of Obed's father. Well, how did Boaz get here? We have to go all the way back into Genesis chapter 38, where we see Judah, this great son of Jacob, who goes and has a son with one of his his sons had died. The widow of one of his sons, he has an improper relationship, has a baby, and Perez is born. Ripple effect. This is how we get to David. So now David is born, and then we start watching from David to Solomon, and all through, we end up with Jesus Christ. Ripple effect. Now, I want you to go, we're going to go together. We're going to go back through the lineage of Jesus Christ. I think we all get so upset when we have to read books like Leviticus, books like Numbers, and it's so boring. Why do we got to look at the genealogy? Here's why we have to look at the genealogy. We have to look at the genealogy because you have to understand two things. Number one, where did Jesus come from? And number two, if you take a look at the lineage of Jesus Christ, what you're going to find is he doesn't have that perfect lineage that we all think a king should have. And so I'm biding my time because y'all know I love to do the genealogies. Here's the genealogy, the baptism and genealogy of Jesus Christ. And this one is going from, this is his Jewish genealogy. I was in Luke, now I'm going to Matthew because that's the one that I want us to read. All right, so here it is. Jesus Christ is born, and it goes from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob to Judah. And Judah, it says, is the father of Perez. Perez goes through the line, and we find Boaz, and I confirm he is the father of Obed. Watch this. At verse 5 in chapter 1, I love this. It says, Solomon, the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. Y'all remember Rahab? As you read the genealogies of Jesus Christ, you see Perez, who was a product of an improper relationship. You see Rahab, who was the product, or she worked in a place that we wouldn't consider to be something that was right. And David, who had an affair with another woman. And actually, God uses that woman, Bathsheba, to birth Solomon through with David. So as you look at Jesus' genealogy, it is not one where we would say, oh, he's from good stock. Oh, that's a good young man there. And yet God uses the ripple effect of Hannah praying for not having a son, praying for a son, drops the pebble. Samuel anoints David. We look at David's life and all that he did. David gets the temple built, and ultimately Jesus Christ walks the earth and fulfills all of the promises of God. Ripple effect. What's your ripple effect? What has God done in your life? And now here you are concerned about how things are not going your way. May I encourage you to just allow the ripples to keep moving, because you don't know whose life you're impacting. And God is using you, and you think that you're not enough. I bet Perez, knowing how he was conceived, didn't think he was enough. I bet Solomon, realizing how his mother and father got together, didn't think that he was enough. I bet Rahab didn't think she was enough. You are enough. Allow God to use those ripple effects to impact lives as you grow closer to him. I pray that this is a blessing for you. And remember, stay strong.
So what you waiting for? Someone to feel the pain some more? Cause you ain't share the love, the grace you found within the Father's care. To share the love of God is more than just a simple job. It's Christ speaking the off a Holy Spirit law. Share it.